Hello, I figured this would be a little bit easier to explain to you what to expect from CSO Architects. I did see them last Thursday on September 5th, and they provided some engineering schematic designs. I have yet to receive those designs that they sent me, which I expect them to come and show us tomorrow. But I'm going to cover the 6 items that they are supposed to discuss. Hopefully you'll be able to watch this video and be a little bit more prepared if you have some questions, because I think there will be some of them that we need to get answered. The very first one is the courtyard design and impact to available usable space. In this diagram that you see right here in front, I'm moving it right there, this is going to be the main entry of, or the main floor. If you see, this is the steps going into the new entry point. This is our current administration, our theology hallway, and again, this is engineering and physics as designed in the building. And you can see right here, these are the current Student Life Center steps. This is also in gray in kind of a shaded format. Let me go and expand this a little bit, make it a little bit larger. You can see that these are the steps going into the courtyard from the Student Life Center. And this is the existing wall right here of the Kelly Hall. So from this wall all the way out to here is the space that will be used by the new building. But specifically to this point, if you look at on this diagram, these are the steps that go up to Kelly or Loretta Hall. You can see there's a corner of it, and these are the walkway. In the design that they showed me is they wanted to extend these steps, but also then angle it all the way out to this corner right here. So they kind of wanted to use all of this space right here to make it more visible to the glass that goes into the bottom floor of Kelly Hall. So again, if you look at how much space, right now our walkway goes all the way up until this point, and this is all usable space. And their plan was to bring it all the way up to this corner. And I asked them if they could bring it back a little bit further, so they thought about this corner. So that's one thing we're going to talk about, is how much of this space is going to be utilized or can be utilized by the building, which again tends to be a significant. Not only is the building going to be taking away square footage from the courtyard, which is fine, we all understand that, but then how they plan on sloping this grade all the way down so there's some kind of access into the new cafeteria. The next one is deliveries. So if you notice back over here, this is the back area, and you see there's a little bit of grass, and this circle represents the tree that's there. This is, it does not fully incorporate the new building as in the theater, but it looks like they tried to kind of come up with it. But here is the walkway going downstairs into the B basement, and this is the walkway going over here into the Student Life Center. If you notice right in here, this whole section, their concern, which said is going to cause a significant amount of expense to the building, is the 3-point access into that back area. In order for deliveries to come across, they're going to have to come all the way around Kelly Hall, Student Life Center, and then this turn right here that's in the very back, and I apologize, this graphic doesn't represent it very well, but basically a turn radius behind the theater, and then the trucks being able to deliver all the way through the back here in this back area will make it very difficult. And more importantly, if they were able to make deliveries, because this stair step that goes into B basement, it's so steep, it's currently 8.5 feet below grade, that they're going to have to actually build a tier ramp that goes back and forth, along with a retaining wall that will help eliminate the need to remove this tree. So one question they ask is, can we remove the tree? I had asked them to come up with an option without it, and by doing so creates this very large retaining wall and then a ramp system in order to do that. Again, significantly increasing the delivery for anything back over here. So their recommendation, which was brought up by Nicole, she had brought this up at one of our last meetings that we had. I believe this was in June, right before we went out to summer session. This is the bottom floor view of what the new building will look like with the cafeteria. And if you take a look at this room right here, this is the math office. and it happens to be Lisa Hastings-Smith's classroom. One of the options that was brought up is if we can divide this room up right here and build a wall right here where the door entry for deliveries could be made in this section right here. So there would be a door entry from here, so outside entry, build a wall or a new entry here, and then deliveries can be delivered right through here and into the cafeteria. So they would have a straight shot. So instead of having to go all the way around into the back, deliveries can be made from the front entry point. So that will help with deliveries and make it a little bit more simplistic. However, in doing this, we potentially could lose a classroom, but if it was just for deliveries, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. This could still be used as a math classroom. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, which is something they're going to discuss, Kelly Hall does not have sprinkler systems in the classrooms or in the hallways. Student Life Center does. But because this building is going to be adjacent to Kelly Hall, there's some zoning issues and variance codes that they have to either abide by or try to be grandfathered in. They didn't feel comfortable building a building without sprinklers. I agreed with them. So there's some discussions that we're going to have to talk about of what exactly that means and the challenges that mean for that space, specifically between the cafeteria going all the way up. We had originally talked about having, let me bring up that picture here. That's the previous one. So we talked about having an open access to below from the first floor to the basement or from the first floor to the second floor. Because of the sprinkler system, it pretty much prevents us from actually having sprinklers. I apologize. It pretty much prevents us from having an open access way downstairs to the basement, but we can have it from the main floor to the second floor. The fourth one is going to be a new student entry into Kelly Hall. This one is interesting. So if you follow these walk paths, you notice right in here, it goes into our student entry. This is our current student entry. So their recommendation is, in order for us to get into the student entry, they were going to put one right here, but it was going to go down grade. So you would actually walk down a ramp to the first floor, or the basement floor, in order to get access into this section. So students would walk out, come up a grade, or walk up a ramp, and then they would walk out into our courtyard, which I thought was interesting. So this spot would be a new door, a new to student entry. The fifth one is a new Spirit Shop location. I'm going to go back to this one here to kind of reiterate this view. We had mentioned that this is not an ideal situation to put the Spirit Shop, and there was a couple of other locations. One of them that they came up with is if we were to put a new service entry door here, or delivery, that this math classroom would be considered as the Spirit Shop, and that would provide us a multitude of new options where parents would be able to have outside access into the Spirit Shop. So they could come through these doors and then go right into the Spirit Shop, and then they could leave without having to check in the front desk. This door right here would still be secure. You would need a secure card access in order to get past it to get into the building. But deliveries could still come through here. The general public could go into the Spirit Shop. And then one addition is in this section of the physics room, which this room would be converted to a math classroom. This right here would be converted into just general storage for the Spirit Shop. So the Spirit Shop would be able to maintain their display, and back over here a new wall would be built for storage for the Spirit Shop. And then the last option would be science, and let me pull up that picture. So this is the top level of the innovation building where we have biology and chemistry, and again, this is just the general picture. This is not the issue for concern at this point. They're going to show us a rendition of this tomorrow. Specifically, it is this biology classroom right here that's adjacent. So this is going to be the new hallway that's at the very top of the main floor. But they had talked and we discussed about having innovative spaces or learning spaces. about possibility of eliminating this classroom. This is a hallway right here, and this is a hallway right here. And these are two, this is a science office, and this is the IT storage closet. They were suggesting, can they possibly go ahead and eliminate this wall and this wall to make this kind of an open, innovative learning space for science or anyone else that's not only accessible through here, but also to have access to that back hallway over here. It's an added expense, but it's something worth discussing. So those are the 6 items that I wanted you to talk, or just to be prepared for tomorrow when CSO presents this to the President's Cabinet. Thank you very much.